Hello and welcome back to Choice Bits of Bliss. My name is Cilla. Today is going to be just a mishmash of different topics that we're going to talk about. But one of the things that I wanted to mention, since we're over halfway through the year, is that I've been asked, because last year I did the burn rate, and I kept up with it all year long. And then this year I really haven't focused on that on video. I have focused on it, but just not on video. And I thought I would kind of catch you up where I am. So each month, and as you can see, this is July because I'm closing out the month of July. I do a page that has, well, I'm already planning for August, but it has my challenges that I'm doing. And then I go back and I put what I've done for the challenge and how many pieces of paper I've used. And down here in the little yellow smiley face, I'll do the month's total. So for the month of July, now this is not all the paper I've used. This is just 12 by 12 papers that I have cut into. And a lot of them I have used up completely. Some of them I still have scraps of. But that's how it works for me. If I cut into it, I get to count it. And then when I'm using my scraps, I do not count it at all because that paper has already been counted. So, so far this year, I have used 342 pieces of 12 by 12 pattern paper and cardstock. So that's the total combined. That does not count the 6 by 6 pads that I've used. It doesn't count the 6 by 8 that I've used. Nothing like that. If I used Project Life cards or cut aparts that are from different brands, I don't count those. This is simply 12 by 12 paper. And why? Why am I focusing on 12 by 12 paper? The reason I focus on 12 by 12 is because that's what I have so much of. It's what's taking up the bulk of the space in my very small room. And like I've said this many times, I am not throwing shade at all about my small room. It simply is. It's just a fact. My room is small. I am very, very happy with it. When I first started my channel, I talked about finding grace in this place. And that was all about embracing, learning how to cope and organize and manage the overwhelming amount of supplies that I had, because I had moved from Alabama and I had combined my two spaces. So I had the space here in New York, and I would buy when I was in New York, even though it would be a week or two at a time, I would still have downtime and I wanted to scrapbook. So I bought things up here. And then, of course, in Alabama, I had my inventory that I had had since 1999. So once I combined the two, it was rather overwhelming, and I struggled. And it's evident. And if you go back to my beginning videos, it is evident how very overwhelmed I was. So I talked a lot about grace in this place, and I found that I learned how to give myself grace and to manage. I talked about finding peace in this place, and I have found that. It has taken me 2 years. This has not been a quick fix. It has not been easy. I would not recommend it to anyone. Moving your space is, wow, it is difficult. I have purged a lot. And so when we talk about purging and getting rid of things, I've done that. That's no longer part of my solution, because now I'm down to everywhere I look, it's something I love, because I have purged quite extensively, and I'm now down to it's stuff that I love. Every time I pull something out of the shelf, I get excited because I really like it. That's where I am. And I still have a lot of stuff. I still have a lot of paper. So, but I love paper. So don't get me excited. Don't get me wrong. It makes me excited. It makes me happy. I love paper. So this 342 pieces of paper, friends, it's just a drop in the bucket. I'm going to pause for 1 second because I need to make a point. Okay. What you can see right here is a totally Tiffany cardboard paper holder. And according to her, these hold anywhere from 300 to 500 pieces of paper, depending on the thickness. In this particular holder, and I will not buy these again, ever, ever, ever. The reason I liked it or thought out it would work is because they fit in the Cilla-Choice 13 by 13 cubbies. That's an aside, and it's a different topic. We need to talk about it probably another day. But anyway, so I got them to try them out. They're not super expensive. What I want to talk about is the fact that they hold 300 to 500 pieces of paper. In this particular one, I have P13. So this is what I own of P13, of a variety of different collections. But P13 is one of the companies that I decided I was going to limit how much I'm allowing to come into my space, because I go overboard. That's just the honest truth. I go overboard when I love something, and I love P13, so I've had to restrict myself. Okay, so this is the piece. We're talking about 300 to 500 pieces. So let's just think P13 is thicker. Let's say it holds 400 pieces of paper. This is not exact. This is just an about. I have not used, so I've used 342 pieces of paper, which sounds like a lot, but I haven't even cleaned out one of these. And it's July. We're at the end of July, actually. So that brings everything back into perspective. If by some random chance I went on a wild tear and the rest of the year I was able to use 660 some odd pieces of paper, 668, that would bring me up to an even 1,000. That would only be 2 of these, and 3 of these fit on a shelf. So yeah, I have a lot of paper, and I continue to buy. I'm not going to feel regret or shame, embarrassment about purchasing. I've just had to make a lot of adjustments, and let's talk about those adjustments. So this year I have chosen to do sporadic freezes. So I started at the end of last year. Black Friday, I decided no more. I'm not spending during the winter. I would spend in March. So I've done a spend in March, a big spend. I'm not joking. It was big. I had asked my husband to give me a gift card to a cherry on top. He gave me a generous one, and I spent it in March. Then I did a quasi-freeze in April. It was not pure because I bought some organization stuff. And then in May, for International Scrapbook Day, I spent again. Kind of lost the script for June. I was supposed to have been in another freeze. I did buy some more organizational stuff because I wanted a piece to put my distress oxides in that fit in my cubbies. So, you know, I'm tweaking my space, and I keep buying organizational stuff, and that goes toward the bottom line of what I've spent on my hobby. That's just the reality. So, excuse me. So June, yes, I did spend. July, I did another big spend. It was planned. We knew that we were going to the convention, knew what we were going to shop. We went to the 3 places that we love, and we're so glad that they came back. So we went to those 3 shops first and spent the bulk of our money. I'm going to say me. I'm not going to talk about Teresa. She's got videos talking about everything that she purchased. So I decided I was taking cash because that would make me stop. If I told myself I could only spend cash and I could only spend a certain amount of cash, then if I reached for my debit card, I knew I was breaking my word to myself. And I'm trying to get better at keeping my word to myself. I'm great at keeping my word to others, but I'm trying to get better at keeping my word to myself. So I told Teresa, which she was my accountability partner, like, this is how much I'm taking and this is what I'm going to spend. So I did it. I kept my word, but it was a hefty spend. I'm not going to lie. I am going back onto another freeze until November. I will probably do, I will definitely look for Black Friday bargains, but I will shop for Black Friday. After November is over, I will go into another winter freeze. There is nothing that I need. It is all about what I want at this stage. Occasionally, I run out of something that is a necessity, like a trimmer blade or the track piece where you cut that foam piece, plastic piece, whatever it is. Occasionally, I have to replace those. Occasionally, I have to buy adhesive. But honestly, I'm pretty set. I'm pretty set on the necessities as well. I had to tie my hands down to keep from going and purchasing white cardstock because I had to restock what's behind me because I had run out. I had gotten that low that I actually had to restock my black and my white cardstock. I have plenty. There's probably 100 pieces of paper of white cardstock. I do not need to run to the store and buy some more simply because I had to restock from my overflow. See, this is a brain issue. It's not. I've got some. I have to change the way I think. So, in order to do that, there's a lot of people who inspire me. The Crafty Low or No Spend group is a huge, huge help to me to help me stay focused, accountable, and on track with what my goals are. We are not there to try to enforce anyone else's goals. It's just to get support for your own personal goals because you know your space, you know your supplies. And if you have decided that you want to stop spending or slow down your spending, then it's just a place where you can get support. That's plain and simple. And there is a lot of sharing, showing how to create and to use what we have. That is a lot of my focus for this channel now, is simply to use what we have. Okay, changing gears just a little bit. I had done a video showing, let me pause and move this heavy thing off the table and then I'll be right back. Okay, I had done a video showing that I was making a little boy album and a little girl album. I thought we would do a quick flip through. I said I wasn't going to do it, but they're ready. I'm ready to give them to Mom, so I thought we would do a flip through of each of what the finished product looks like. These are super simple to put together. I made sure that I did not put adhesive on all the sides so that she could put her photos behind any frame. There's pockets. I left her blank spaces so that she can make whatever she wants. It gives her a lot of license to create this into the album that she wants to create. So, I'm really happy with how these came together. They come together very quickly. Once I decided on my formula, it makes it so easy. And I knew the little girl album would be very fast because it's just one of those things you do in batch. So I pull out my collections. I decide how each paper is going to function, if I'm going to use the cut-aparts, and then I just go ahead and do all of my cutting up front. I know how many pieces I need because I do up the months. This is for the baby's first year, and I know what I want in between. So once I got my formula down pat, then it just is super, super easy to put it together. I painted these albums because, and in the little boy album, I painted the inside and the outside. The little girl, I did not. I just think it looks better than the raw, and I've got a critter flying around. I just think it looks better. It looks more cohesive. So I was determined to use up an entire sticker sheet on this album. And I did it. I made it. But I had to use my the border strips. So that folds out there. I did not want them to be identical. They have a lot of similarities, but I did not want them to be identical. I like how I use stickers here as a tab. And I wanted to make sure that she knew where there were tuck spots. So I slid things inside so that it was easy for her to know where the pockets are. It was an opportunity for me to give her more pieces so that she can use them in other places if she doesn't want, like in all of these, if she doesn't want a photo, she can put one of these, and it helps decorate it. So it is kind of bland looking because it's waiting for her photos, it's waiting for her touch, her creative touch. She is a creative person. She makes beautiful planners, but this just gives her an opportunity to stretch a little bit and to go in the direction that is a little different for her. So there's another pocket. We have another waterfall there. And then this ends this album. I think they are really cute. It is a sweet, easy gift to give. And we're going to change gears one more time. Teresa and I were chatting, and she was telling me about a Facebook group that she's part of. It's paid content. I cannot link to that. I am not part of that group. But she was telling me that one of the admins is creating for Christmas in July, she's creating a Christmas planner. And I had talked about purchasing a golden book to play with, and I didn't know. I loved this. I was thinking about doing something for Christmas. I just really didn't have a cohesive idea. I want to keep this in circulation. I don't want to get rid of it. So she was talking about the Christmas planner idea, and the more we talked about it, I thought, I want to do it. That's what I want to do with my little golden book. I want to make a Christmas planner. I am going to link a video down below of Cher Shares, I believe is the name of the channel. And she did a Christmas planner, put it together. She used a composition notebook. So it just gives you some ideas of how to put it together, what to flow with, how to work it, so that you can create it in your own way. I am going to use this little golden book. I'm so excited about it. I'm going to take everything out of the interior and use some of the artwork, but I mostly want the story for sure. There is one page at least missing, so that one's torn out. So I'm missing something there. I may go on the hunt for another one of these. just so that I have everything that this little book offered. This particular book was printed in 1980, and it is the 36th printing. Isn't that fun? Isn't it just so fun? Anyway, I love this. I can't wait to get my planner in it. I will show you for sure once I get it all together, because I want this to be used multiple years. And I want to be able to change out the pages that are relevant to that particular year. Does that make sense? Am I even saying that right? I don't know. Anyway, I'm really excited about this project. My room's falling apart, apparently. My ruler just fell. Anyway, that is it. That's all I want to share today. It's a lot, and it was kind of a hodgepodge. Thank you so much. There's 1,000 different places you can go and spend your time. I really appreciate you coming here and spending some time with me, listening to me. I love it when you comment. It gives me, it just gives me an opportunity to chat with like-minded people, and I love that when I have time. I've stuck at it here lately. We are supposed to be slow in the summertime, and that we are, the community I work in, we're in a growth cycle, and it is, wow, it is kind of kicking our tails this summer. But anyway, it's all good stuff. Come back. We will chat again soon. Bye-bye.